turn my back to you. Can you hear me?
Nope.
Nope.
Pick it up, Sandy. Take the mic off the thing.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So here we are in Haas Auditorium, as we were in 2014, hoping that FERC will have our best interests at heart, even though they have been supporting Williams at every turn. That will not keep me from warning you that they will, sooner or later, be in the same seat as Exxon, who covered up the research that told of their assault on human life, or in the same seat as the EPA, who systematically covered up toxic fracking emissions for years, knowing all about the degradation to the climate and human life for the sake of the almighty dollar. They lied. Williams and FERC are now in that same seat as Exxon and the EPA. Williams and FERC know the dangers to humans, wildlife, to the environment, and they choose to deny it, to pretend it isn't happening. But they know, we know they know. We all live downstream, even Williams and FERC. So when the hundreds of thousands of trees are cut down to make way for a pipeline, we gain the carbon they no longer sequester. We lose the oxygen that they produced. We lose the aquifers that they regulated, and we gain the higher temperatures resulting from this deforestation. We all live downstream, even Williams and FERC. So when the chemicals that perk back to the surface and show fracking contamination in the waterways, as indicated in the U.S. Geological Survey, or chemicals from shale drilling show up in our drinking water, as a Penn State study reported, not only does the Wolf Creek watershed lose fish, clean water, and a place where wildlife come to drink, we lose, not just Dimmick, not just West Virginia, all of us. We all live downstream, even FERC and Williams. And when FERC ignores the reports of esteemed scientists and rubber stamps, pipeline expansion and construction in this county and this state, not for us, but for independence, not for us to be independent from foreign fuel, and not for our consumption, Mr. Mansfield, but for export. It's not needed for you and me, but for the money Williams and FERC will get from it. When they have rubber stamp gas storage in caverns in New York, in the Seneca region, when they rubber stamp self-regulating by the company, pipeline explosions occur like the one in Greensburg, PA, that essentially ruined a man's life due to extensive burns, or the one in Unityville that helped us to know how fallible the once every 5 to 7 year examination of a pipeline is. When they rubber stamp compressor stations that push the gas through the pipes and emit toxic chemicals 24 hours a day, methane being the primary one, but formaldehyde, benzene, nitrogen oxide, butane, toluene, and 20 others are emitted at one site or another, at one time or another, and are in the air we breathe, causing illness and death. Cutting down a maple forest in Susquehanna County this past spring via eminent domain, which FERC made possible for Williams, Constitution pipeline, so that a maple sugaring operation was ruined. And just so you know, Williams did not and does not have the authority to take that pipeline into New York. So it goes nowhere. Nice job, Williams, being such a good neighbor. Nice job, FERC, making eminent domain possible. Really? People who put dollars over... One more sentence? People who put dollars over fundamental safety of people do not belong in government. I do know that a 42-inch pipeline with a 1,500 PSI, that's pressure per square inch, if you turn one of it on its side, put on a bottom, and put on a lid with that much pressure in it, a space shuttle, a physicist discovered, would have to sit on the top of it to keep the lid from exploding. That's why I don't want that pipeline here.